You either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
We are in very serious trouble.
Look, Jeffrey Dahmer was eating the shit out of niggas' heads.
He is the one.
So I finally got around to watching Suspiria, and it was pretty great. You know, going into it, I haven't seen the original, so I didn't really know much of anything about the story, about the characters, the mythology, any of that. And so walking into it, it was pretty much a blank slate. So basically the story kind of just follows this dancer from America, and she's trying to get into this dance studio. And essentially she gets in, but a lot of crazy stuff goes on. It's a very mystical movie, very supernatural. It's about witches. And, it's mystifying. The editing is great. It has a great score, phenomenal performances. It's a slow burner, but it has its intensity too. It has a very good finale, and I think it works on a variety of levels. Like I said, it has great performances. I mean, Tilda Swinton is outstanding. I mean, I don't know if she's really ever had a bad role. Dakota Johnson works well as the lead. Everyone's great in the movie. It starts off strong, I think, and it doesn't really hold back. It doesn't really slow up for the most part. I think if any problem exists with the film, I would say that it's pacing. It is a long movie. There's a lot to get through, and it's almost 2.5 hour runtime. And, you got to kind of get through some things. I feel that there's a few things that could be taken out, but it's captivating, it's enthralling, it's compelling, it's energetic, it's horrifying, right? It's just my brand of horror. And, it's exciting, it's gory, and I love that about it. It has this very sickening vibe to it, this claustrophobic, kind of uneasy feeling. And it works well for the story, a story, kind of a mystery. And, there's just a lot of twists and turns to the narrative. It just fits this whole aesthetic. It's kind of like you're watching a play. Everything feels so alive, like the place that the characters are staying in, all of the characters, everything just feels kind of, it flows so well together, and it fits so well together. And there's not really a lot I can say that's bad about this movie. So I would highly recommend this movie for anyone who has tastes similar to mine, for anyone who likes horror. It's not like a strictly horror movie, it's not like Halloween, but it's like horror thriller. I think for what it's going for, it works so well. Like I said, it has just some really enthralling nightmare sequences. It's one of those movies that the more you watch it, the better it gets. When I first watched it, I was like, yeah, this is pretty good. But then the more I thought about it, I was like, wow, so this is what this means, and this is what this means. And then as you fold along and you kind of move through the narrative, you start to think back and you start to kind of connect the dots. And I think it capitalizes on information and not showing you certain things and then kind of revealing things later. And it keeps you engaged. So it's the kind of movie that if you enjoy, oddly enough, it's kind of like The Thing. I don't know if anyone else would draw that comparison, but it's kind of like the 1982 The Thing. A similar vibe to it. It's similar kind of atmosphere. And, that's one of my favorite movies of all time. If you like that movie, I think you probably like this. It has similar kind of effects, practical. But yeah, I would give this a solid 4 stars, 4.5, 9.2, 9.8. It doesn't matter. I would give this a high grade.
Just call it shit high power. Yeah, nothing less than high power.
This is a very good film. There's not a lot that I can say that's bad about it. Just a few slight little pacing issues. A couple things I feel like could have been taken out. A couple things didn't need quite so much explanation, or maybe some things that needed a little bit more. But other than that, it works almost on all fronts. Everyone brought their A game. The music is great. The editing, phenomenal. So it's definitely a movie that I think you should check out. Thanks for watching.